Feels like forever ago. Obviously, Arkansas State, disappointing loss. I talked to you guys after the game, and a lot of things we got to get corrected. I thought the guys came out today and had a great practice, and put that game to bed on Sunday and focused on their academics yesterday, and then came out today and flying around, and I think the weather helped, being cooler and just a little bit different, but. Thought we had a good day of practice and kind of set ourselves up to accomplish what we need to accomplish for these seniors on Saturday.
You've talked a lot about flushing games, flushing losses after they happen.
Yeah.
How do you flush something as bad as that, as 46-point loss?
Yeah.
How do you keep the vibes high?
I think it's one of those deals where, obviously it's a disappointing loss, and you can't have something like that. It's one of those deals. Probably it's after a win, it's never as good as you think, and after a loss, it's never as bad as you think. Especially watching the film, there are a lot of things we got to correct. Is there a lot of things that we got to get better? Yes, for sure. We got to coach better. We got to play better. But it is what it is at that point, and we just got to get better. And the only way you can do that is go on the practice field and go out there and do it. So. It's unacceptable, and we know that. But I think our focus now is just getting better and putting these seniors in a good position to go out on Saturday and get a win.
Do you think it was kind of humbling for this team after getting to the 6 wins, and you've talked about getting punched in the mouth and how that can really be a good thing for this team?
Yeah.
Can that be looked at as a positive, as a humbling moment where this team could have 2 games left going on in the year and it needed this moment a little bit?
Yeah, I think you never want to lose in that fashion, obviously, but I think anytime you face adversity, it's good, and you can always learn a lot from adversity and how you respond, so obviously not excited or happy that we lost by any means, but I think there's some great learning moments from that game for our players, and obviously I know, like, everyone's disappointed. Everyone, players, coaches, administration, fans, boosters, yes, very disappointed. But I think we've accomplished a lot of really good things this year, and we have to make sure now the focus is about these seniors and send them out the right way and those kind of deals.
Talking about senior day, it's a quick moment for a lot of these seniors. They come in and out, but still the impact of getting to bowl eligibility and everything. Can you just talk about that and what these seniors have meant this season?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a different deal nowadays in college football, but especially for the guys that have been here, and to be able to get that bowl eligibility is huge. I mean, they worked their whole time here to do that, and now they've been able to get that bowl eligibility, and then guys that you bring in, or guys that we brought from UIW that came over here, and so a lot of special people in that group, and these guys have really laid the foundation for what we want to build. I think obviously getting to the bowl game and bowl eligibility and all that is really the floor for what we want to accomplish moving forward, and so. They really laid that foundation and give us something really to build upon this offseason. And, we got to get to work. And that's what I told the guys. I'm not getting to the offseason yet, but, it's getting to that time. And, these guys have put us in a great situation to go out there and have a really good offseason. There's going to be some probably some changes and some different things going forward, based off – this season, and we've done some really good things, but we've done some things that haven't been as good. And it's been a great learning moment for a lot of people involved, and but just really, really, thankful. It's good timing, good, very thankful for these seniors and the leadership that we have, and they've accomplished something that hasn't been done here in a long time.
Looking back at that Arkansas State game, what were some major takeaways do you think this team needs to improve on?
I think all year, I'll start with offense. Turnovers has been the biggest thing, and I think we've gotten a lot better in the red zone. We've continued to get better in that area, but it's been turnovers. It's been our Achilles heel. And then on defense, I think the third downs, we're still doing a good job on early downs, but it's been the third downs, so we got to get better in that area. And then special teams, I think more has to do with injuries than anything else, and we got to continue to get better in that area, build great depth, and coach these guys at a high level. And DePrado does that every day, and we got some really good coaches, but we have to coach better. And I would say that's the biggest takeaway. Just like I told you after the game, we as coaches have to do a better job.
Looking at the South Alabama team, just overall thoughts about how this offense and defense is looking.
Yeah, I think I'll start with how well they are coached. Coach Womack does an unbelievable job, has a great staff, knows some of those guys and what they're about, and they have great players, great area to recruit. I've never been there. I heard they have great facilities, which is awesome when talking about recruiting and all that kind of good stuff. And they just do a really good job. They run a really good program. I would say very similar to us, talking about beating Baylor, beating Oklahoma State, and then just maybe some inconsistencies throughout the year. But I think they have a really good team, really well coached. Anytime you got a quarterback of their caliber, you got opportunity. I think it starts with their defense. Really good on defense, really sound, give you multiple looks, and make you. They want to take away what you're good at, and you can tell they do a really good job at that. So it's going to be a great game and a great matchup, and I think they're just really explosive on offense. Got great running backs. Obviously talked about the quarterback, and then they got some receivers that can really take the top off, and they do a good job of getting those guys the ball in space, and just a very well run organization over there.
You were talking about how you've learned to do things a little differently going forward. It seemed like most of what you're talking about was in the off-season stuff, maybe recruiting. But is there anything that, in particular, about in-season changes that you've learned, maybe even something that could help you this week that you've come away with the first 11 weeks of the season?
I don't think so. I think it's more not necessarily like day in, day out. We always, do things a little bit different each week as far as, guys' injuries, how we're going to do this. We kind of have a set, have a A practice, a B practice, a C practice, and kind of based off the guys and their health and how many snaps they've played, that week, then we orchestrate practice based off that. But I think it's more talking about off-season and your mindset and some of those things that we have to do better at. Anytime you start off like that, it obviously is great. That's what you want to happen. But I think just the inconsistencies probably have to do with coaching in year one and some discipline, mental toughness, and some things that it's hard when you're coming in year one as a coach and to do some of those things exactly the way you want to. It's like bringing a baby home. From you bring the baby home, you can't go in there and just start crying all the time. You got to ease that baby into it before you start disciplining the baby. So that's kind of where we're at. Got to come in here and fill these guys out, and build those relationships. And you come in here, you know how it is, portal now. You come in here and start being all that kind of stuff and yelling and doing all this. These kids are going to be turned off because you don't have a relationship with them yet. So now we've built these relationships. They have trust in us. They know what we can do. Now, just kind of like similar to after you get to that, you can start coaching these guys harder. You can start demanding more from them. So not that we weren't doing that before, but it's just going to turn up a whole another notch going into this offseason. And that's something that, I'm excited about and I talk to our coaches about. But really the focus has to be for these seniors going out on the right note versus South, and getting that bowl eligibility and getting to that bowl game was obviously something that we wanted to accomplish, but sending these seniors out on the right note is really important for us.
It's like there's so much to take care of when you first come in, getting everyone acclimated, that some things get put on the back burner, like the discipline aspect and stuff.
Yeah,
and so
and I don't think it's necessary. I mean, it was a situation where you come in and there's discipline and certain rules that you got to abide by, but it's one of those things where you can't do everything you want in a short period of time. You can't install everything you want to do and run a program exactly the way you want year one, because you just have so many this body, this guy, just a lot of different circumstances go into year one, and that's why you usually see some inconsistencies in year one across the country. And there's a reason why in year three we're going to be a lot better than we are in year one. You heard Sark talk about it the other day on the Pivot podcast. Like year three, like the bodies look different. These are the guys that I've recruited every single person in this room. These coaches have been with me now for 4 years, 3 years. It's just different in year three than it is in year one, and that's why you have inconsistency. So, but I'm excited where we're at. I think we got a bunch of really good players in here that have bought in and done things the right way. But it is still year one, and we have to remember that. And the biggest thing, though, for me and my focus is sending these seniors out on the right note.
How much does depth play into that consistency too? Do you think if you had a little bit more depth that helps you as well, or do you think it's more so the off-season focus that you were just talking about?
I think it's going to be the off-season focus. I think depth is always a huge part of it. I think injuries always play a big part of it. You're talking about it, certain points of the year, without Nash, without Torrey, those are two, key guys. We've had Joey in and out here the last couple of weeks. It's just part of it. Year one, you're kind of gluing it together. You're signing these guys and doing whatever you can, for us to go out there and win ball games. And sometimes, like you talk about, some of those other small details get lost in the shuffle when you're doing that. So that's when I say we have to do a better job as coaches. That's what I'm saying, not necessarily scheme-wise or anything like that. I'm talking about the small details that help you, or the only reason you win a championship is because of those small details. And we have to do a better job as coaches, and the players have to do a better job of holding each other accountable. And, that comes with time.
How healthy are you guys? We saw Joey go down.
Yep.
I think Josh went down. Josh Eaton went down. Maybe
Yep.
That may have been the game before. But how healthy are y'all going into this last game?
We'll see. We had some guys out today, but we also had some guys come back that have been, banged up a little bit. So it'll kind of be one of those game time decisions on a bunch of guys, and kind of see how it goes.
With this being senior day, how important, as you were saying, how important is it to send these seniors out on a high note, especially with this being their last game at Bobcat Stadium?
Yeah, and that's really where, as soon as that game ended, I talked to you guys, and on the way home, that's kind of really all I thought about is, these seniors and what we can do this week to make their this week special for them. And the best way to do that is go out and get a win. And there are not a lot of people, I think we're like a 7-point underdog and, one of those type deals. So we got to go out there and prove it. And if we're going to win this one, it's going to take those small details and guys buying in and coaches coaching at an extremely high level. But we're capable. I think in this league, I think we found out we're capable of beating anyone and we're capable of losing to anyone. So especially in year one. So it's one of those deals where we have to come out here and play a really clean game and coach a really clean game to win.
Even though this is your first year, what's going to be the lasting impact of the senior class?
What'd you say?
What's going to be the lasting impact of the senior class, even though this is your first year here?
Yeah, I think, getting these guys to stay together all year and getting to that bowl eligibility. I think that's the biggest thing that I think we can take away from this year is there's been some highs, there's been some lows, but I think everyone knows in this room, in this community, in this city, at this school, getting that 6th win and getting that bowl eligibility was a big thing for a lot of people. So we were able to accomplish that in year one, something that wasn't our number one goal, but it's something we were able to accomplish. And, we laid that foundation for years to come. And so I think that'll be probably what people remember about this year with these group of seniors.
All 11 games started by TJ Finley. Tough game for him, though. Doesn't seem like you're going to waver as him as your starter. He's still going to be the starter. And how is his mindset after that game?
Yeah, he's going to be the starter, and I think he's got a great mindset. And if you really look at, and that's one of those things that it's tough. And I know, especially from the outside looking in, but when you're sitting in there and you're watching the film and the reads and what he's going through on each play. You hate to say this, but he played one of his best games. But, you can't turn the ball over, obviously. So that erases a lot of the good stuff that he did. But, man, he played at a really high level. And, he's a good quarterback, and he's a great leader. I mean, he was out there getting those guys going, and it's year one for him in the system as well. So I think he'll continue to get better this offseason, and I think he has the right mindset and he has the right makeup to be a really successful quarterback. And you see some glimpses of it this year. That the highs have been really good. Just the lows, we got to eliminate the turnovers.
TJ Finley's so close to crossing that 3,000-yard mark, 211 yards to be the all-time passing leader here at Texas State. Just talk about what does it mean to have him coming in having this success and about to break so many school records in just his first year.
Yeah, I think a lot of credit to him, a lot of credit to his teammates, a lot of credit to his coaches, and we if you look at it, we've accomplished some really good things this year, and I think it's one of those deals where it's hard right now after a loss like that to even see any of that, and it's hard for me, but for me, I think focusing on things that matter and focus on things you can control, and focus on the positivity and what we have accomplished and what TJ, the good things, like you're saying, has the opportunity to be the, what is it? I didn't even know that, but what is it? The all-time. Yeah, first year. So I think he's doing a good job, and Coach Leftwich and Coach Keppel and Coach Scott and all those guys do a really good job, throughout the week of getting him prepared. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, the question I have for you, Coach, is the game got moved this Saturday, NFL Network, and most likely the bowl game is going to be nationally televised. So how big is that going to be for this program and recruiting-wise to get the eyes on Texas State University and the football program?
Yeah, that'll be huge, and you're already starting to see that. And, we'll have a couple really big weeks of recruiting. As soon as the season gets over, those next 3 weeks up until signing day will be huge. And you're talking about this week on national television. The bowl game will be national television, so a great opportunity for us to go out there and showcase, what we're about, and give. That's what I told these seniors too, and the guys in this room is, let's go out there and for these seniors that have aspirations of playing in the NFL, the more eyes, the better you play, and in these big moments like this, the better chances you have of going and getting that opportunity to play in the NFL. However you feel about your situation right now as a player, put your ego to the side and go out there and play for these seniors.